Hi, it's me, Ivy Barksdale Realtor with Guide Realty, coming to you once again with Black history from a personal perspective. Now, the last time we talked about what drove my daddy, James R Mapp, and people like him during their fight for equality, and it came down to their faith. As he mentioned in his book, we had a deep and abiding faith in God and feared doing nothing more than doing something. So today I want to talk to you about some of the things that he did, and I especially want to talk about the jobs that he held. So his first job was at 12 years old. He worked at a grocery store. And in that grocery store, he would continue to work until he was almost in high school. And after his junior year, he ended up working at a chair factory as well, and this is where he would raise his money to go to school. He also saved money from the summers of 1944 through 1947 when he worked at U.S. Pipe and Foundry. So this was the first time that he was exposed to discrimination in pay. Even though they were doing the same jobs, the colored workers were earning 50 cents to the white workers 75 cents. And the unions at that time supported that unequal pay, so much to the point that the union came to the colored workers and said that they were going to give them 3 cents an hour raise and give the white workers a 10 cents an hour raise. Well, that got the colored workers to get together and voted that union out, and the union that they brought in worked to make it a little bit more equal in pay. So then he goes off to college, comes back after he marries Vi, and he continued to work in the grocery store as a butcher and then as a store manager. He continued this for about 9 months. And then got a job with North Carolina Mutual Insurance. And he worked with them for about 2 years when all of a sudden one day it just got in his spirit that it was time for him to try to get back into school. So this is what he did. On Wednesday he quit the job. On Thursday he moved to Nashville. And then on Friday he got a job with a construction company. And so while he was working there, he would send the majority of his pay home, all but $8 that he needed to live off of. And he would send that home to his wife and 2 daughters, soon to be $3. But unfortunately, he didn't get into school. So he moved back home, got back on with North Carolina Mutual, and was promoted to staff manager within a year. A few years later, in 1964, he was demoted. And he was demoted back to his entry-level position because of the time he spent in court with the desegregation lawsuit he filed against the Chattanooga School Board. So he then became a district manager at Union Protective Insurance, and his time there only lasted a year. It came to an end when he was to pay a claim to one of his clients, and the insurance company higher-ups told him to just take them $250 in small bills and give it to them. And this was in an effort to settle a $500 policy. My dad wrote back to them and said, "I am of the opinion that a claim should be paid or rejected." Of course, the company had no reason to reject the claim, so they had to go ahead and pay it. And shortly after that, in a meeting of the managers, my dad was singled out for not being a team player, for lack of better words. But he decided, along with them, let's just part ways, because he says, there are just some principles I could not sacrifice. So after a while, he talked with my mom and decided to open up his own insurance agency in 1965. Then in 1967, he decided to try to get a small business loan from the state of Tennessee. And he was immediately rejected purely because of the color of his skin. No black in Tennessee at that time had ever been given a small business loan. So what would he do next? Tune in next time to find out.